Hello to Noura and hello to the children who've been reading The Suitcase. Thank you very much for these fantastic questions. I'm going to try to answer them right now. So here we go. About creating the story. How did you get the idea for the story? Did children help you write and illustrate the story? Okay, the idea for the story, I was trying to find an idea for another book. I didn't have any really good ideas, and so I was just drawing, I was sketching things, animals, all kinds of things without really thinking. And then I drew this animal, and he was like carrying a suitcase over his head, and he was running, and he looked a bit scared, and he was kind of like he was running away from something. So I started to think about where he was running from and where he might go and who he might meet or bump into on the way. So I started thinking about that. And the story came quite quickly. Over the next day or two, I had the rough idea of the story. Did the children help you? My children did help me. They always help me. When I have a new story that I think may or may not work, they're the first people to hear it. I just tell them it and to see what they think. And sometimes they they say, no, that's not very good. But this one, they really liked it. They said, yeah, we like this. So whenever that happens, it's not all the time, but when that happens, I decide to work on it and develop it and make it into a finished story. So yes, they do help me. Even if it's to say, no, that's not very good. About the strange animal. What is the strange animal? I don't know what kind of animal he is. People always ask this about the book, what is he? And I don't really know. He's a mixture of a few different things. I just wanted him to look different from the others and a little bit unusual so that it was obvious that they'd never seen anything like him before. A bit like we do when we see him. We're not quite sure what he is. And so I wanted us to feel a little bit like the other animals. Why doesn't he have a name? Well, actually, names are really difficult to think of. I know it seems easy, but it's when you try to think of names for characters in stories, you always think that's not right, that doesn't fit. And in this story, they don't really need names. You know, it's quite, you can see who's talking, you can see what they're saying, and they don't really need names in this story, I don't think. Why does he look sad even though he's on a trip? That's a good question. Well, often when you go on a trip, yeah, you're happy. You're going on holiday or you're going somewhere that's going to be fun or it's going to be nice or it's exciting. Sometimes, though, you go on a trip and you don't really want to. You know, you've got to leave even though you want to stay. And it might be just because, I don't know, you've got to go to the dentist or you've got to go somewhere you don't really want to go. Sometimes you need to leave your home even. You know, there's lots of reasons in the real world why that can happen too. So I don't think he wanted to leave home, really. Why did he leave his beautiful house? That's a good question. I don't really know. When I drew this character with his suitcase running away, the first thing I thought of wasn't really where he'd come from. I thought more about where he was going and the people he might bump into when he got there. So I don't know why he left. It could have been lots of different reasons. What happened to his house? Whoa, I don't know. I hope it's still there. That would be nice. Maybe his house is there, and you could go back to it one day. That would be lovely. You could probably maybe take his friends with him, and yeah, you could say, "Hey, this is my place." Why did he travel so far? I don't think he meant to travel far or even wanted to. He just kept going until he bumped into somebody or he found somewhere that was, you know, he had some shelter, or he was just tired. I think he just kept moving until he felt safe or until he was tired. What was he looking for? Yeah, he was looking for safety, shelter, somewhere to feel like he was at home, I think. That's a good question. About the other animals. How did the fox, rabbit and bird become friends? Wow. I don't know if they are friends. I think they all live in the same place and they know each other and they're familiar with each other and they get along, but I don't know if they're friends. They seem to argue a lot. You know, we only know them for a few minutes in this book and they already have an argument. So I don't know if they're friends. They get along, I think, more or less. What kind of friends do I have? A fox, rabbit, or bird? uh, I hope most of my friends are like rabbits. You know, they kind of try and do the right thing and try to help people and understand that sometimes people need help. Um, they're probably also a bit like bird at times. They're not really sure what to do, or maybe it might be a bit scary to do the right thing. What kind of friend am I? Well, I hope I'm the same. I mean, I hope I'm like a rabbit. Um, Probably a bit like bird too at times, you know, when you don't really know what to do. But in the end, hopefully you do the right thing. How come the strange animal has in his small suitcase a cup of tea, a table, and a chair? This is unbelievable. It is unbelievable, but it's true. He's not lying. You know, he says he has all these things. Well, he does have he does have a cup of tea. That's real. He has a little cup of tea in his case, and then he says, "I've got a table and a chair and a little cabin, and then there's the countryside and the hill and trees, and then there's even the sea." Well, that can't be real. That's unbelievable. But in the end, all those things are in his case. It's just that it's a photograph, you know. So in a way, he's telling the truth. It's just that the animals, I don't know, they misunderstand or they don't really know what he means. And then they realize, they understand that, yeah, okay, you know, he wasn't lying to us. He really does have these things in his case, but not in the way that we understood. So it's unbelievable, but true. Last question. What is your dream house? Well, I suppose where I live now is, if you think about it, I've got everything I need here, you know. My family live here with me and we're all happy and comfortable. We all have our own space. I've got some room to work here. There's a garden to play in if it's not raining. So I suppose if you're comfortable and you feel safe in your home, then that's a dream house, I think, for me anyway. And that was it. That's the last question. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I didn't read the questions before, so I just read them and talked. So I hope you understand me, and I hope that I answered your questions in the way that you expected. And again, I really appreciate you sending them to me. I think it's fantastic. It's made me so happy that you've read the book and that you've enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for sending these questions to me. Goodbye. I need to switch this off now. Hold on. There we go. Bye-bye.